It is only the fact that he is able to live this self-deluding view of reality. And this is in the book. I give example after example after example. If you saw a smiley face in the sand with the words, "Good morning, Professor Dawkins," next to it, you would know that there's somebody around who drew it. Why would you think that a bacterium should be any different? In my opinion, the search for the naturalistic origin of life is the search for the Holy Grail. It is the search for the fountain of youth. It is people who are desperately, for whatever their motives, I'm not going to speculate on, do not want to believe in a creator. They want to believe they can understand everything. And I think that what's called for here is a little bit of humility. Anyway, at this point, I think we've arrived at what for me is the most important part of the evening. I hope that you enjoyed it, and now I'm perfectly ready to answer your questions.
I'm an engineer. I 100% agree with you. I think one of the things that scientists try to do is get this satisfaction of understanding. And it hits the point that you said right at the end. But a tailor, you can understand them. There's this person, this physical being that we call a tailor. I think what happens is when they take everything back and say, well, there must have been a creator to have gotten this started, that's a very unsatisfactory answer to them because it's not concrete. And maybe that's why they have a hard time.
It could very well be. But you know what? That's the nice way of saying it. The not nice way of saying it is that it's a form of arrogance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
I can accept that. I can accept God as a creator, God as a prime mover.
Right.
But I have a problem when, if God has no beginning and no end, was God dormant 4 billion years ago? And if so, what caused God to start creation?
Right. That's a slightly different topic. It's a very important question. I'll try to, we can talk about that for the next 2 hours. But remember, time, space, matter, and energy came out of nothing. This is not, even though this is what Jews have always said, this is the current theory in physics also. That's what the Big Bang means. That it came out, it's called a singularity. It happened once. It came out of nothing. Right? Now, listen very carefully. What was before the Big Bang? No. There was no such thing as before the Big Bang. And this is not just me, this is physicists. Time started. There was no time. There's no such thing as before. There was no time. Time before and after is only when there's time. See, time is a thing. This is what Einstein showed. Time is an actual thing. It's not like there was no such thing as before the Big Bang. Well, then what? The idea itself makes your mind kind of flip. Well, where did it happen? It didn't happen anywhere. There was no space. What do you mean no space? A void is void, endless amounts of... No, there was no space. There was nothing. What do you mean there was nothing? The more you think about it, it can make you a little crazy, actually. In fact, this is why our sages say, don't think too much about what was before, what's going to be after, what's above, and what's below. In other words, realize there is a limit to human understanding. And this is, you've reached the limits. The only thing we know about God, ultimately, again, I know this is a very short, inadequate answer, but at least it's sort of, an approach. The only thing we know about God is that He is something totally other than we are. Anything we can conceive of, that's not what He is. He is other than we are. And not only that, I want to point something out also. People think that they say, well, God is spiritual. God is not spiritual. God created the spiritual. He Himself is not spiritual at all. He's something else than spiritual. What? Don't know. Except that He's there. How do we know He's there? Here we are. There's the bacteria, there's the genetic code, there's the digital code, right? That's God, the Creator. How do we know God acts in this world and is concerned with mankind? Ultimately, that's what the Jewish people are here for, to show that God is working history, God is working mankind. It's another topic, and I'm just giving you sort of the chapter head. That's how we know God actually works. And he didn't just make a creation and now he's stepped back and divorced himself from our world. The history of the Jewish people shows that God is very involved in the world. So maybe we'll have to talk about that next time. Anyway, yes?
When I was younger and I was in college, I studied Kant. And Kant gave me like artillery to debunk faith. Because I was much more interested in debunking where I came from than in the truth. And Kant gives the ammunition that just because something, cause and effect, applies in the physical world does not mean that that's how it works in the ontological world, which is the first move.
Right.
It doesn't have to necessarily, just because somebody applies here in time and space as we understand it, in the bigger picture, maybe it doesn't apply. Well, you could wait around and you have your 80 years or your 70 years or your 90 years to wait to see if Kant's right or wrong, or you can decide that you want to live your life the best possible way and just, if you want understanding, the Torah gives the understanding. But ego stops scientists. And to me, it's simple. Ego has stopped people from Pharaoh on into believing that Hashem is the creator. Hashem lays it out. This is how you're supposed to live. People, if they haven't found it on their own, it's not invented here. If I didn't invent it, if science doesn't invent it, I don't want to hear it. It doesn't address my emotional needs.
I happen to agree with you, and I see it over and over.
This is not a complicated matter. I mean, people forever have put their own ego first. Hashem's rules are a pain in the neck. It stops you from murdering, from adultery, licentious behavior, gluttony, all the things that people really want to do.
Right, and one of the things, another one of the very famous atheists who had a bestseller, who was very popular, was a guy named Christopher Hitchens. He calls it, he says, why would anyone want to believe in God? It's like living in a celestial North Korea. That's what he says. And what's ironic is that, why does he say celestial North Korea? Because that's the greatest example of authoritarian repression is North Korea, right? North Korea happens to be one of the few officially atheistic regimes on the earth today. So, it's odd that he would say such a thing. Because he has a book, his name of his book called God is Not Great, How Religion Poisons Everything. But what's the worst place on earth? North Korea, an officially atheistic regime. It's kind of strange. Yes, please.
What was, first of all, your argument is compelling, and most of the people here probably agree with it, but what was your motivation for the book? Because to the Orthodox and to most people, they'll agree with you, but do you hope to change minds? I mean, have you been getting emails from your readers saying, oh wow, I'm on your side now. I just don't know what's your goal.
I'll tell you, that's a very interesting question. But very briefly, first of all, I've been teaching about this. I've had an obsession with it for many, many years, okay? So I've been teaching this thing, and certainly I think been helpful for people, many people over the years, to help them come to this realization. I obviously don't force people. I try to present them with the ideas and let them think about it and make a decision for themselves.